Hey there, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Mary Jason Birthday of MI Graphics Hub. And in today's video, I'll be walking us through the design of the trailer poster. Now, if you've been struggling to perfect your craft in maximalist designs, this video is for you. It might seem bulky at first, but with a little practice here and there, you will get the exact same result I got in this video.
To start with, I'll be using the dimensions 1200 by 1500 pixels and my resolution as 300. Now I have placed all the resources I'll be requiring in a folder for easy access. There's still some I will be including along the line as I design and I require need of them. So first I'm starting with the background. After that, I pick my model. Find your way to quick actions and just click on remove background to take out the background. And there we have it. The background is out. Now the next thing I want to do is lay my tone paper effect straight up because that will serve as a guide to the backgrounds. For my tone paper effect, I already have a file, a vector file opened in Illustrator, as you can see here. So I'll just drag it from the Illustrator file into Photoshop. I'm duplicating this layer, the tone paper effects layer. I'm duplicating it because I want to separate one from the other. Now using my lasso tool, I'm cutting out the parts that I need the most, the longer parts. Now it is not in the form that I want it to be, so I need it to be a bit thinner. What I'm going to do is I would use my eraser to take out unwanted parts. Now I am of the practice of duplicating my original layers in case I need to go back to it. Most times it is best that you convert your layer to smart objects if you are just going to add an effect to it. But in my case, either I'm adding an effect to it or I'm trying to distort the shape, I always like to duplicate my layers. That way I can easily go back to the original one without waiting. All I do after getting my desired shape is to duplicate, rotate, turn vertically, horizontally. Now that I have all my paper effects set, I am going to group all of them together and then name the layer turn effect. Now it will make it easier for me to work on each background. But before I do that, I'll first of all edit my picture to an extent. Sharpen a bit, increase clarity, increase texture. Depends on your picture, you might want to go beyond this and use other effects. But for this image, this is the best for me. Next up, I would be making use of the tropical background for the next part. So I am going to duplicate the model layer. Reason being, we have to have the model on the first background and at the same time on the second background. And note that this tropical background has to be behind the model, just as the other background is behind the model. So what you are just going to do is to duplicate the model layer. Now, so we don't affect the turn effects group, it is best to lock it in so that in all our arrangement and dismantling, we do not affect the setup. Now, I would paste the tropical layer behind the layer of the model. And then selecting your pen to crop out just that portion that you want visible behind the turn effect. Once you are done selecting, right click, make selection, click OK, and click on the layer mask icon. As you can see, you have just the background in. You have just the background in. Now, I do not seem to like what I see at the background, so I'm just going to arrange it a bit till I get my desired size. Yes, this is perfect. And on to the next background, I'll be using the newspaper background for the next line. Now, each time you duplicate the model, be sure to create a clipping mask. Once you are done with selecting and bringing out your background in line with the shape, create a clipping mask, put your image, that copy of the model's layer, put it inside the background that you have cropped out. I will do the same thing for this. Now on this line, I would be making use of two images, one at the left and one at the right. So I would copy the first and place. Now, because it is expedient to place a copy of the model's layer into the background cut out, we will need to group these two images before creating the clipping mask this time around. Now our design is coming out. We have all background set. The next thing I'll be doing is editing each background. I'll just duplicate my background layer to keep the original one, and then I'm going to go down to Gaussian blur, click on filter, go down to blur and select Gaussian blur. I do not want it to be so blurred out, just a little bit. Let your eyes be on the preview. It might not show on your design immediately. Now I would want to edit the first image to be in line with its background. All I need to do is go to camera raw filter, shortcut shift command A, and then go to profiles, and then to vintage. Now for you to get which matches the most, you can push down the interface and just scroll through. You'll find which one matches the most. We're still going to do a bit of edits on the background in terms of color, but then for a startup, this is the first thing to do. Now I'll be pasting in this texture for the tropical background, and I would change the blend mode. Now I'm increasing the vibrance just to increase the color to some extent and give me the feel that I want. So just the way we edited the first image, every layer of the image that will be visible has to be edited to match up with its background. And for the image on the newspaper background, I'll be employing the black and white effect on camera raw filter. If you look at it, you will see the background is very much different from this grayscale. The shade is very much different. So what you just want to do is to take out the cream color feel on the background. To select your hue and saturation tool and turn the saturation slider to the left till you have the exact same feel. For the next background, I would also be blurring out a bit on the two sides. While the final background, I would blur it out so much because I do not want the lines showing obviously. And then selecting the last image, I would want to change the filter on it to give it a different shade. Now you observe that this last image is having a twin color. This is because we combine two images, so there is a blank space. As you can see, there is a blank space behind it. So what to do to cover this up is, you could make use of a rasterized shape or an image, but I will just copy an image and place behind that spot to cover it up. That way the image in it will show fully and will not be having two colors here. You can make use of any image at all. It is not going to show, or any shape at all. It is not going to show. All you need is something that will cover that entire part. As you can see, we have the full color there. That has been corrected. As I said before, I'll be changing the filter on this background. Now we are almost there. Now this design was inspired by a Mexican TV series poster. So there is definitely a story behind each of the background, which I do not know. So every feel, every color, every background has a meaning to the storyline of the movie. Now I'm going to be importing my lens flare. I can find a copy of this lens flare in one of my previous videos description. The lens flare is only for the tropical background for realism's sake, because that is the only place that is in the open. It seems sunny and all of that. Next up, I'll be using this comic texture fill for the black and white parts. Change the blend mode to multiply and reduce the opacity so it does not become too much. It is not for every layer, so you want to duplicate it and place one above the image and one beneath the image. That way you're having it on the background and the image. So now I'm going to import my noise and dusty fill images, change their blend mode to screen and reduce their opacity. Once you have your overlays on them, be sure to lock them in once you've gotten the desired taste. Now for the second to the last line and the last line, I will be introducing another image in there, imitating it as though it is this model that had on something different. So to do that, I would want to crop out a portion of this model's dress. I will convert the layer into a smart object and then click on the eraser tool and just click on the image. That way to bring up the rasterized window, and just click OK, and that way I'll be able to crop it out easily. Now, in the process of my copying and pasting, some of the layers that are supposed to be in this tropical background has gone out of clipping mask. So I'll just correct that now by placing all in clipping mask, and then you can see it is quite obvious. I'm just going to delete the rasterized layer. All I needed is the cut out part. And then I will import the image I needed. Now, since we are importing a new image for the last line, we can just make the last image for the last background invisible, and then drag the image above it. Be sure that the dress seams aligned with what is down, so it can look very much realistic. Now, if you look at the edge to the right hand side, it seems unrealistic. So I would pull this down a bit to match up with where the shirt is ending in the other line. Now it matches up. Now, to cover those places that seem cut out, just select your layer mask and select your brush tool. Ensure that the hardness is set at 100% and that your foreground color is set to white. As you can see, the cropped part indicates white in that layer mask. So when white is selected, you can see when you drag over it, you have the parts that were taken out restored. Now, for that little part that is showing the background image,
select your clamp tool. Ensure that the point you are picking is very close to the edge. Now it is not so smooth, so I'm just going to make use of the sports healing brush tool. Just put it over that part and you have it. Now for the latter part, I am also going to make use of the same wear. So I'm just going to use the same method to restore that part. And then I'll duplicate this layer, or better still, just delete the layer mask and your image is restored. And I will crop out that latter part. So I have one at the top and one beneath. The one beneath, I'm just going to make the latter part grayscale. Now I'm going to select my brown texture and place above the entire design. This time around, I'm changing the blend mode to soft light. The next thing I'll be doing is adding shadows to the tone effect to give it some sense of realism. So I will just unlock the group. Now I want the last layer of the tone paper effect to have a much more pronounced shadow effect. So I'm just going to bring it out of the group and then custom the shadow to what I want it to look like. You can always play around these sliders so you get what is desired. And then to cover it up, I'll create a new layer now and make sure my foreground color is dark. Then selecting my brush tool, be sure to reduce the hardness as much as possible so you don't have this sharp line. And I'm doing this to create that spot for whatsoever text is going to come in, so it can be legible. And so I'll just write something, not like I really have anything to write. So let me just say just a sample. Now this is not rocket science, this is just a text effect that I copied and pasted in. For added effects on the black and white image, I would create a new layer above it and then change the foreground color to a form of cream, and then just drag it above the portion where there is supposed to be a shadow, and change blend mode. The color one works out for me, so you see that place is much more pronounced. Okay, so I'll be changing this just a sample too. I didn't actually have any text in my head, so I think I'll just use trying out the trailer. Yes, trying out the trailer. All of these are just for aesthetical appeal. Me changing the kerning, font size, trying to imitate a trailer poster. So all of this is just me trying to put what's there like it is in the trailer poster. And so I'm not comfortable with the text effect font, so I just changed it to something much more suitable. And we're almost done. Finally, I'm just going to save the image as a PNG file. And thereafter, I will copy and paste the saved image above everything done. The entire design layer that I just pasted, I'm duplicating as my usual practice. Now I'm going to increase the clarity. Be very careful when doing this. It depends on what your design looks like. You can actually destroy the entire design. I am going to go down to vintage to give the entire design a filter. And that is it. And then I will finally save the game. And that is how I came up with this trailer poster design. I hope you learned a thing or two from this tutorial. Please do well to like, subscribe to my YouTube channel to get much more engaging tutorials on designs generally. Thanks for watching. Bye. See you in the next video.